Good morning, class 8. So, today we'll be discussing a poem written by, that is, If, the first chapter, the first poem, that is written by Rudyard Kipling. So, talking about Rudyard Kipling, his full name is Joseph Rudyard Kipling. He was an English journalist, short story writer, poet, and novelist. And he was born in India, and which inspired much of his work. And Kipling's works of fiction include The Jungle Book, Kim, and many short stories, including The Man Who Would Be the King. So he has written many short stories, and he basically he is a writer journalist from born in India. So in this poem, if this the poem is the ultimate inspiration that tells us how to deal with different situations in life, right? And the poem conveys that, and the poet conveys his idea about how to win in life, and after all, how to be a good human being. That is the theme of the poem. And the poem was written in 1895, and was first published in Rewards and Fairies. And in 1910, it is a 32 lines long with 4 stanza. You can see 32 lines total, and each stanza is containing 8 lines. There are total 4 stanzas, and each stanza is containing 4 lines. So it's a 32 lines long with 4 stanzas, and it's a tribute to the lender Jameson. Okay, and the poem is written in form of paternal advice to the poet's son John. Okay, so this is the poem. The poem is talking about the ideas how to win in life and how to be a good human being. And it was first published in 1910. It is written in 1895, but was first published in 1910. Okay, and the poet speaks us of achievement at the end, and in the poem, and after discussing all the requirements to reach there, right. So the poem is in a the poem is the whole poem is in the poet is talking about some advice to be a good human being, and the advice was given to his son John. And see, the title of the poem is If. See the title, and you see in every line of the every stanza, this word if is continuing. So the main theme of the poem is the combination of so many ifs, right? If. So the title if is the appropriate one for the poem. Okay. Now today I will explain the poem line by line. So let's start. In the first stanza, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. So according to the poet, to be a good human being, or to get success in life, you should keep calm. You should keep gentle and calm. And whenever other people around you and they are losing their control, they are losing their coolness, but you have to come, and you should not lose your temperament, even if the others are blaming you in your life, in your blaming you for their fault. But you have to keep your you know temperament cool, right? You should not lose your temperament. So if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, keep your head means keep your temperament. Your head means your temperament. That means losing the temper doesn't solve any problem, right? And rather it intensifies that, right? The it intensifies the problem, right? And keeping the head cool, keeping your head cool makes us think wisely to face those tough situations, and ultimately you will find the situation, you will find the solution, right? So the first two line, so the poet is saying that, the poet is advising that you have to keep your mind cool. Now, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. So now in the line 3 and 4, but make, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. So now the poet is saying that we should have the faith in ourselves. Even others doubts us, but we should give some importance to their doubts too, but we should try to find what may be the reason for their suspicion, right? But we have to keep faith in ourselves. And the poet is saying by keeping faith in ourselves we make sure that we don't get demoralized or disheartened, right? And by allowing others doubt we ensure that we are not doing something wrong knowingly or unknowingly, right? So we have to keep faith in ourselves no matter what happens, no matter what, no, the persons who are around us, they are, you know they are doubting us. This is not important. The important is we have to faith ourselves. But yes, the thing is that we should give some importance to their doubts too, and try to find out what may be the reason for their suspicion, if we are doing any wrong or any mistakes or not. So we should give some importance to their doubts, but not not for in a whole, right? Now, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, that means we should work hard and wait for the result patiently, right? You see, there are a number of real life examples where people missing big opportunities only by losing their patience, right? So if you want to reach somewhere, if you want to reach your goals, you should work hard and you have to wait for your result patiently. Or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Then people may lie about us to others, but we should not indulge ourselves in lies, right? That means we should always remain truthful. Like if we are misled or tempted to lie, people would ultimately discover the truth and won't believe us anymore. That is why it is important to speak the truth even if that hurts us, right? Truth, stand with truth is very necessary, right? People may lie about us, but we should not indulge ourselves in lies. We should always remain truthful. Or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, not talk too wise. These two lines is very important. See, or being hated, don't give way to hating. That means people may show their hatred towards us, yet we should not hate them. We should show our love, respect, generosity towards them. In this world, no man and woman is perfect in this world. Everyone has his strengths and weaknesses. But we have to accept that and respect them for their good qualities in them. Right? And in the last line you see, and yet don't look too good, not too wise, not talk too wise. That means we should not show us as too good a person, or talk too wise with common people even after possessing such qualities. Right? Because according to the poet, having acquired all these good qualities mentioned above, people generally feel proud and they have that intention to show off how good they are. But the poet warns us not to go that way. In that case, others would feel uncomfortable in our company and they would avoid us. Or even others may try to prove us wrong at any cost. Right? That's why the poet in the last line said, in the first stanza, the last line of the first stanza, the poet said, beautifully said, yet don't look too good, not talk too wise. That means we should not show us as too good, as too good a person, or talk too wisely with the common people. If you are possessing such qualities, but you have to be very calm, because having acquired all these good qualities, then the people get generally feel proud and they had that intention. They are having some intention to show off how good they are, right? And that is a bad thing. That's why the poet warned us not to go that way, right? Now, in the second stanza, if you can dream and not make dreams your masters, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, and if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or was the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. So now the poet is saying, if you can dream and not make dream your master. So the poet is saying, to do something bigger we should dream first, right? But he also reminds us not to be guided by unrealistic dreams. You should not daydreaming, right? That is something you are dreaming that is unrealistic. And if dreams take the driver's seat, we should get detached from reality and eventually fail, right? So you should dream, right? Because dream is your life dream, what you are dreaming, and then you are following your dream. This is necessary, this is important. But this dream should not be guided as unrealistic, right? Your dream should not be guided by unrealistic dream, right? And if dreams takes the driver's seat, we would get detached from the reality. There is a word, there is a quote, you see, like you have to dream fast before your dream can come true, right? So we should dream to reach great heights in life, but keeping the reality in mind. We have to keep the reality in our mind, right? And if now in the second line, see, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim. So we should be able to think over a matter, but we should not make the thoughts our aim. That is to say that we often lose our radar and get detached from the main point. So our thinking should not be scattered, misleading us away from the target. Right? Your thoughts that should not be scattered. If it is scattered, then it will misleading. It will mislead you. It will mislead us away from our target. Right? We should think over a matter. This is necessary. Whatever you are going to do, first before doing something, you have to think. But you have to think with the reality, right? And you should not make the thoughts our aim, right? Because whatever you are thinking, you cannot do it, exactly, right? So you should not make your thoughts the aim. Okay, we have some. Now in the next, if you can meet the triumph and disaster, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. So, life is the combination of success and failure, right? Joy and sorrow, good times and bad times, ups and downs. So we should accept the both and face the both situation with similar treatment, right? So here the poet personifies triumph and disaster, capitalizing and calling them two impostors. Because people becomes too happy in success and forgets their duty at hand, and we may also get too complacent or proud at a small success, reducing our chances to reach the higher goals. And again, at bad times, if we are too grieved, we may lose our faith and confidence. So in both cases, our regular course of work is hampered. That is why the poet calls triumph and disasters are two impostors. We ask us to treat these deceivers similarly in a smiling face, right? And should not be too happy or too sad under any circumstances, whatever is happening in life. Right. Now, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools. So here the poet is saying we have to bear the tough situation where we see that our speech or our statement is distorted by someone to be fool others. So very often we see that people misinterpret our words, right? So we should not lose our temper hearing that. Rather we should tolerate that. We should ensure we have spoken the truth, right? So this tolerant power, we have to create this power in your mind, in yourself, right? Because you see, when you are going through a very tough situation, then the people who are around you, they will try to misinterpret your words that you have used, and they will use your words in their favor, And in that situation, we should not lose our temper. Rather, we should tolerate that. Right? And we have to ensure that we have spoken the truth. And this is vital. This is very important and this is very vital. Or watch the things we gave your life to broken and stoop and build up with worn out tools. So now the poet is saying we have to hold our nerves after seeing that our favorite things that we built with all our effort and time is broken. In that period, we have to hold our nerves. Right? We have to pick up the scattered parts and build it all over again. And to keep our cool is not easy in such a situation. But patience and mental toughness would help us to build them again. Right? So the poet is saying that we have to hold our nerves. If you see or if you find that our build, our success, or what you have, your discoveries with all that you have found or that you have built with all your effort and time that has been broken. In that situation, you have to hold your hand, hold your nerves. And the poet is saying that in that situation, it is not easy to keep your cool, right? To keep your head cool, but we have to keep patience, because in that situation, this patience and the mental toughness would help us to build them again, right? So this is the first two stanzas explanation, and here the poet that is Rudyard Kipling has written the poem in a he is advising his son John. This is the poem all about. The next, please go through the poem. Thank you.